as far as the raid in general, I think it's also worth noting contest mode is like we were talking about Last Wish. Contest mode is also in a very good place. I think again it could have been a little bit tougher this time around, but even using for Vow, it's just the contest mode is another example of how polished Destiny 2 is right now and how it's just in a state that they wish they could have had back in 2017. Like even if you go to Last Wish, that was one of the reasons why it was such a mess was because back before then you could level as high as you want, but it was incredibly difficult. And the raid came out, I think, like what, 2.5 days after the expansion. So you had to pretty much play the game non-stop, get every single powerful and pinnacle. And then, of course, if you were like me, you had the Petra glitch and you lost out on the most powerful.
It was 10 days. It was 10 days.
Oh, was it?
We had a whole reset, but it didn't change the fact that it was so high that everybody had. Yeah, it was so high that everybody still had so much.
It was a whole 10 days and it was still like
absolutely absurd.
If you didn't play every single day, you would be behind. And then it was a case of nobody was even at the recommended level of the raid. Whereas now it's like it's in a perfect place because you can just over level and then it doesn't matter what you are, you're just all evenly capped at the same levels. It's a perfect way to gauge difficulty, and it isn't this just RNG mess of trying to get to this impossible level.
Let's give everybody a bit of perspective. The hard cap, the pinnacle cap didn't exist back in the day. There was only the soft cap and the hard cap, right? Soft cap was how high you could get with just blues and random legendary gear that didn't have any specific drop value. And that was 500 light, right? When you got to 500 light, you would then have 100 levels worth of hard cap. Riven, the final boss, was 590. And most people were going into Riven at around about 550. Like at the end of the first week, I was within the top 3 people as far as leveling was concerned. And I thought I was sitting pretty good at something close to, I must have been 540 at the time being. And like I did all my pinnacles and I got a ton of stuff and I felt like I was in a really great place. And the raid still kicked my booty. Like it was so
still
hard.
Swords. But for me, they were
skulls when we went in, dude. It was skulls on that.
But do you remember the Petra glitch? It was pretty much
lost your oracle offering.
Yeah, the oracle offering. That's what it was. It was the oracle, which was like the highest. It's like a +7. It's like a crazy powerful drop that you get from Petra. And if your inventory was full when you picked up like some quest, it just wouldn't give you a reward. And of course, typical bugs just that happen. We didn't know that at the time, so I and a couple other people happened to be unlucky enough to miss out on the most powerful drop. So I was severely underleveled, and that was what made Last Wish punishing. And that's again someone who played every single day. It was still like you had no chance of even being close to the recommended level of the raid. But yeah, it's just nice to see how another example of the game being very polished now. Contest mode is very clean. Again, the difficulty is definitely up for debate, but at least the system, it makes sense and it's consistent at least, which I think is good.
I think as well, it's still one of our proudest moments because it's one of those things of like, no matter what, we just didn't give in. We were dead set on getting our Riven jackets, and damn it, we got them.
But then it's like diminishing returns because the longer you try and you're just like sleep deprived, it just becomes ridiculously difficult. If you just like actually take a break, get some sleep, and then come back, we always just do it like first time, the next time. But it's just like throwing yourself at it and just hoping it works.